Hello, everybody. Hope this finds you in continued good health, and welcome to episode 6 of Slow Blues in E for a chromatic harmonica tuned to the key of C. So far, we've talked about sweet spots in episode 1, next door neighbor sweet spots in episodes 2 through 5, and octaves in episode 5 as well. Episode 6 introduces a variation on next door neighbor sweet spots in the E minor pentatonic scale, namely what I call socially distanced next door neighbor sweet spots. That's a mouthful. Just as our human next door neighbor is still our next door neighbor, even though right now we avoid getting within 6 feet of them, one next door neighbor sweet spot can be distanced from another without losing quality contact. First, let's work on converting the 2-hole blow to 3-hole blow next door neighbor sweet spot to achieve social distance. Like playing octaves, this is a tongue blocking operation. This is how you'll do it. Start by opening the left side of your mouth over 3-hole blow. Then block holes 4 and 5 with your tongue. Finally, let the right side of your mouth remain open on hole 6. When you blow, it sounds like this. 6-hole blow is the note E, just as 2-hole blow is the note E. Review episode 5 to refresh your understanding of how this marvel of musical engineering maps a mysterious acoustic reality. Let's apply the same process now to the next door neighbor sweet spot on holes 4 and 5 draw. Now you're playing 1-hole draw on the left side of your mouth and hole 4 draw on the right side of your mouth. Here's how that sounds. Now here's a little arithmetic to help you figure this stuff out on your own. The whole number of the octave of any given hole is any given hole plus or minus 4. For example, if you're playing the 5-hole blow, which is the note C, if you subtract 4 from that, you get 1-hole blow, and those are both Cs. They're just in different octaves. The whole number of the socially distanced next door neighbor for the higher next door neighbor note is that note's whole number plus 3. As an example of that, let's look at the 2-hole blow and 3-hole blow sweet spot again. Those are the notes E and G. We're going to start with G on the bottom of the socially distanced next door neighbor sweet spot. That's 3-hole blow. We're then going to cover holes 4 and 5 with our mouth, and then we blow out of hole 6, which is the note E in the next higher octave. The whole number of the socially distanced next door neighbor for the lower next door neighbor note is that note's whole number minus 3. So let's again look at hole number 6. Because we want to do a socially distanced next door neighbor sweet spot with E on the top, we subtract 3 from 6-hole blow, and we come up with 3-hole blow, and that's our G in an octave lower. So it takes a little getting used to figure it out, but it's obviously not rocket science. Okay, now let's pick a more manageable name for the socially distanced next door neighbor sweet spot. We'll use the term open double stop for these guys, and we'll use the term closed double stops for the next door neighbors we learned about in episodes 2 through 5. Google the term double stops to learn more. Like octaves, double stops can really thicken up your sound and also bring in all sorts of rogue harmonics when played close mic'd through an amp. Unlike octaves, they mate 2 different notes, so they can be a lot more harmonically interesting. Now, as an aside, Little Walter uses open double stops all the time on chromatic, but I don't know of any recordings where he plays octaves. He uses octaves a lot on the diatonic, though. Do correct me if I'm wrong about his use of octaves on the chromatic. Double stops are particularly useful for suggesting chords, and that's how we're going to woodshed them shortly. In E, we have 1 double stop well suited to each of the 3 chords in a basic blues progression. We'll get more into the weeds of why these work in a later episode. In the upcoming woodshed, we're going to use a full chorus of a 12-bar blues in E as charted above. Each straight line represents the beginning of a new bar, that is, a grouping of 4 beats. Notice that the second bar hops up to A7 and then goes back to E7 in bar 3. This is known as a quick 4 variation of the basic 12-bar blues chord progression. It's pretty common. On the first 2 bars, I'll play a 2-beat riff and you'll respond on beats 3 and 4. That's because of the quick A. The whole numbers will be displayed on screen, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to grab the rhythm. For bars 3 through 12, I'll play a bar, and then you'll respond in the following bar. Here's a chart of the double stops used in each bar. Let me demonstrate those for you right now. So on E7, we play this one. On A7, we play this one. And on B7, we'll be playing this one. Notice that bar 9 introduces a new open double stop. The closed version would be holes 3 and 4 draw. Try messing around with that on your own. That's not such a common texture for blues players to use. Jazz luminary Thelonious Monk loved that texture, and guess what? I love Thelonious Monk, the master of avant-garde barrelhouse music, in my opinion. Turns out his father played harmonica, so, well, but I digress. Okay, here we go. All right, now try messing around with this using the 5 choruses of Slow Blues in E provided in the playlist. You can find the link to the playlist in the description below if you linked directly to this episode. Also, remember to try mixing up closed and open double stops for variety and try out different rhythmic variations. See you next time.